Hello, my name is Chadley and welcome back for another episode of Ep3 as Mexico. In previous episode we managed to conquer Guatemala, which wasn't really that big of a feat, and we started increasing the economy a little bit further. It's currently on a bit of a downturn, but it will certainly pick up some speed, and we are getting the arms industry soon, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to get that one done. Hey, the charity hospitals actually went through drafting already. So what we're going to be doing is we'll get the arms industry, we'll get that operational. Actually, we should probably make sure that the production methods on it are already set up appropriately. We'll produce a bit of cannons. We'll put a bit of muskets. That's going to give us the cannons and muskets that we need, at least partially. So then once we do the war, we won't have to pay quite as much for the upkeep. And we're going to let the infamy drop a little bit further. It's probably not going to drop all that much further, to be fair. How's the situation with... Okay, we've still got amicable relations with El Salvador, so they're probably trying to improve relations with us whenever they can. So we'll start working our way south, get Costa Rica, and we will eventually conquer El Salvador as well. They got half a state in here, which is already surrounded by us, and then they've got their own state there. Right. Ah, there we go. So next week we're going to have the arms industry already, and now we're using a lot of... Oh, wow, yeah, we're making a lot of money now again, thanks to the investment pool, which is already 2 million, so that's something that we need to start using a bit more, but... Right now, the problem is that we're stuck with agrarianism, and I don't think, well, interventionism, it's got support from... Oh, right, the 15% is just from the charity hospital thing. Never mind. So that number is irrelevant. So let's go ahead and declare the war on Honduras now. I think it's time for that. So, Congress State. There's going to be a 10 infamy. We've got okay relations with USA still, so that should be fine for us. Let's mobilize the armies from there. We've got the artillery commander in there, so that should make life a little bit easier. And how's the market looking now? So tools are very high in demand, artillery is in high in demand, iron is very high in demand. So we've still got a lot of work to do. Health taxes. We could take it from the tax funds, that'd be an extra minus 1,000 for tax income. Industrial would not approve of that, but that would be 20% success chance. Or 2 chance for 30%. Or just take the 10%. I'm going to take the 20% chance, so we don't have to pay too much, but we get the sort of biggest bonus there for relatively small cost. I mean, it's £1,000 per week, so it's something. But you know, if we can get this law passed a bit sooner, then it should be fine. No one seems to be leaning either side on this war. I could swear, oh, I could bring Great Britain onto my side if I want to. I don't think I need to. So, is Mosquito Kingdom, is that still... Oh, it's a protector and a Great Britain, so that is something that we'll need to eventually probably conquer, but we don't need to get ahead of ourselves. We're slowly expanding south. Ah, there we go. So we got the logging camp done. Now we're getting another iron mine, and there we go. We got the banking done. Let's have a look at the text. So we are... Ooh, Bessemer process. We don't have steel mill yet. First, we need to get a lot more iron mining, quite frankly. But that's something that we'll probably go towards soon. We'll get the frigate, I suppose, and after that, we could maybe help with the Bessemer process. So, balance a bit between the various tech trees there. But yeah, it's only going to be 20 iron that we get from there. I think one thing that I might want to do is get a coal mine in here already. It might not be very useful yet, but I'm sure that soon enough, in the not too distant future, it will be very much needed. At least to speed up some of the mining things. Right, so everyone declared neutrality in here. Oh, progressive voting already, and no setbacks. We're doing pretty good with this law. Much better than the tax law, that's for sure. Because we do have a little bit more support for the law now. There we go, the war has started. We got our 10 battalions versus theirs, which is, I believe, still just the irregulars with cannons, where we got the mobile artillery, although... I don't know if our troops have the full offensive capabilities yet. They probably do. So yeah, we've got a lot better quality troops here. We've lost about 1,000 men already. They've lost a lot more than that. Most of our losses have been just demoralized. But yeah, that is an easy victory there. So this war is going to be done soon. Then we could maybe start planning a war against Nicaragua, although... Of course, we can't do that yet. But after this war, we'll have a look. I mean, we might take quite a bit of infamy from that, admittedly. We're going to certainly start working our way down south. And then we could maybe start reducing relations with El Salvador. Of course, there's a bit of influence, but that's alright. We've got a really darn good legitimacy, by the way. It's actually a bit of a surprise. Oh, gold discovered in Arizona. Right, so there's a lot of gold in them hills. Apparently. Popular demand endorses reform. Okay. 10% success chance. Or we're going to get 20 prestige. I'm going to take the 20 prestige because that's, yeah, about a third extra for our prestige now. So we can maybe eventually get into a major power. Of course, we're not quite there yet, but we can certainly start getting closer and closer. There's going to be another victory over there, and I suspect that they will probably take this peace deal in due to... Well, maybe it's going to take a little bit longer. A few more battles, I suppose. Still have a tiny bit of shortage of bureaucracy, by the way. But I suppose some of the modifiers have expired. Yeah, working against the system, minus 5% is still there. That's 5 months, and that's done. Then that's going to free up a little bit. We are losing a bit of cash now. We've got 40,000 in debt right now. It's not too bad. Let's be honest. Oh, now we're getting the tooling workshop. But even with that, we're still making money. That's actually quite nice. I mean, the minting has been increasing recently. And they should be taking the peace deal in about 3 months. Or not months, weeks. That's gotta be good. And then Nicaragua is probably gonna be the next target. I don't know if we'll declare the war immediately after. We maybe could. Assuming that the infamy stays... Oh, debate success. Okay, that's another 10% chance. Alright then. Let's propose the peace deal. I'm sure that they'll accept it now. So let's have a look at the situation here. So we've got some banana plantations. So there's going to be a lot of fruit. We've got some dye plantations. Some fish wharfs. Or fishing wharfs there. We've got some tobacco plantations, maize farms. For these, we're going to put the vineyards. Increase our wine production even further. That's going to make a decent bit of money overall. So there we go. Now we're making almost £4,000 per week without utilizing any of the investment pool. There's a lot in there that we could be utilizing it for. How's the iron situation? Okay, wood price isn't too bad anymore. Iron price is still pretty darn high though, so we can't really expand the construction, at least turning into the iron frame buildings. Not yet. But once we get the tooling workshop, that's going to allow us to get a few things. Right, so to get... Oh, yeah, we need the atmospheric engine. Okay, we'll probably get an atmospheric engine after the Bessemer process then. So that we can start increasing the production at the mines, because that is going to be very important. So, Nicaragua, how would that... okay, we could declare war on you. That'd be 8.7 infamy. That's not too bad. They don't have a lot of an infantry or army to speak of, so we could probably do that. We're still reducing relations with El Salvador as well. Let's go ahead and declare the war already. It's going to take a while to actually fire, but that's alright. Send this army again. It's been a very reliable army. It's only an artillery commander. That's done there. These are having problems with iron, and iron. Fair enough. I'm actually thinking if I should switch this one back to... Because it's... Well, it's still giving a decent bit of construction speed, to be fair. But we could switch this one back to wooden buildings. Save us a bit of money. It would require more wood and fabric though. It's not too bad. The tool price would go down, iron price would drop drastically, so we can get the guns and tools done in sufficient numbers. And there we go, we've got charity hospitals. So now we need to get a lot of bureaucracy. Now we've got a lot in here, we just don't have the paper. If we put that in, the paper price is going to be bloody massive. I suppose we could do that and then just, you know, queue up the paper mill in here. We've got troops waiting there. I don't think anyone's leaning either side. I mean, Great Britain apparently does like us enough so that we could call them in. Especially in a war against the USA, that might be very handy. We're not quite there yet. So Colorado had some gold mines there. Mining accident. Getting the rural folk to be a little bit stronger might not be a bad idea right now. Plus, you know, oh, enact homesteading. We're not trying to pass any laws, so we could try... Have a look at that, at least. There's only 12%... Oh, it would radicalize the landowners. That's not a really good idea, then. Alright, then. So we can't switch away from agrarianism yet. Unless we've got okay taxation laws, we can probably go with that one for a while. We don't have the right of assembly, no support for it right now, so that's not an option. We could go away from the... Right, land of voting, it's got really good support, actually. Right, there's 3 interest groups that support oligarchy. That's landowners, armed forces, and industrialists. Land of voting is supported by landowners and armed forces. We could probably go for that one. It's slowly gonna allow us to get a little bit further into like, or getting some other factions into power over time. It might not be instant, mind you, but over time. So we're getting the second tuning workshop. Now that the iron price has gone down a little bit. Oh, right, and we might want to get another iron mine in here. Since we started building them over there, might as well continue doing that so we can get the bonuses from it. So no one's joined the war, so this should be a fairly easy one. So wood clippers and paper prices are very high. Market access in Nevada is 23%. I suppose, oh right, the population is probably increasing in here. So that's giving us a bit more infrastructure through that. We've still got 9 gold fields in here, but at least that's quite a few. There's no gold fields in California. Not yet, at least. And there we go, the war has started. Should be pretty darn easy fighting again. So we'll get that done at least. I do wonder if the landed voting... I mean, we've got 48% chance of succeeding. We just need to succeed 3 times. We'll get the landed voting. Then we can start having some elections at least. Our first fight over here, it was 10 to 2 battalions. Or 10 versus 2 battalions. And we had much better quality. So yeah, that was a pretty easy victory. Grabbed quite a bit of land already. And we're making 18... Oh, right. We were building some farms in there. I think we might want to... Let's see. Get another logging camp in here. Then we'll get another construction sector in our capital. Actually, it should be first the maize farm. Then the logging camp. Then we're going to get the construction sector. And then continue so that we can increase the construction speed at least to like 20. So we build at least one building at full speed. That is going to be another victory there. Excellent. So that's just now a matter of time before they'll give up. Of course, it's going to take quite a few weeks to be done. Sins of the past. Proponents of landed voting reform have called attention to past abuse of power by the current regime as a reason for why this change is urgently needed. Are corrupt, which is why the powerful need to be held to account by the voters. Past is past. These issues have nothing to do with the reform. I'm going to take the reduced popularity on the government right now. It will reduce the legitimacy perhaps a little bit, but I think it's still going to be good enough in the long run. And the population, well, I suppose we've been doing a bit of a conquest down here, haven't we? Did we start oh, no, we didn't start incorporating in here yet, but we could start incorporating Guatemala at least. And then maybe Honduras as well? No, we don't have quite the prerequisites for that. We don't have any tax issues either, so that's fine. How's the population in our capital? It's almost 2 million. Okay, that's pretty decent, I dare say. Now we're making £19,000 per week. So yeah, we've got maybe a reason to lower the taxes a bit further. We could maybe increase the wages over here. Because, well, I suppose we are building up a bit of a stockpile of money while we're getting the logging camp, but that's going to be done soon. Spain is improving relations. Okay. Not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, Spain does, Puerto Rico still. I mean, Cuba is also part of the Spanish market. Right, I'm guessing we could probably... No, they still don't want a peace deal. Stubborn. Okay, now we can get the peace deal. And excellent. So did we... Oh, hey, logging camps. Let's put in some sawmills here. I think right now this can probably stay as is. We don't really need more hardwood right now, do we? Not too badly. So yeah, that can be as... or like that now. We got a port. We could probably use a bit more clippers in there. Get some more infrastructure and all that. And more convoys, which is going to be quite handy. And now our GDP... Oh. Right, you want to improve your relations with me? The Costa Rica is wary of me. And that would be 5 infamy. Oh, only 5 infamy. I'm going to wait a little bit. Let it go to like, I don't know, 12 or something. And let us get maybe, or reduce the radical numbers a little bit. Most of the radicals admittedly are just in the territories that we conquered. Like vast majority of them. And then we've got loyalists in a lot of areas. Over here we've got the gold fields. I suppose gold fields I can't improve the production methods at all. Oh, there we go. The first success in the landed voting. There we go. We've gotten a decent bit of land in here, I suppose. Costa Rica is going to be the next one. Then after that, I'm not entirely sure. We've got a pretty long border with the Columbia district, but of course we've got good relations with Britain, so we don't actually want to start fighting the Canadians quite yet. doing a pretty good job in colonizing down here by the looks of it. So New Mexico is probably going to be pretty much entirely ours. Oh, there we go, we got this screw frigate now. And then after that is the Bessemer process and the atmospheric engine. Speaking of which, by the time we get that, we will already have the coal mine up and running. It might not be needed too much yet. Oh, there's a... Oh, right, the paper mill is going to be very much needed. Coffee plantation is not a bad one either, to be fair. There's a little bit more sort of luxury items. I mean, coffee demand is actually fairly high. Porcelain is also in pretty darn high demand. Luxury clothing is in high demand. There's a little bit of production of that. No, there's actually trade routes for it. From the French market. Ah, okay. Let's have a look at the trade routes that I have. So some of these are not... Oh, right, the clippers we don't really need anymore, so we can remove that one. Looks like the small arms is not really valuable anymore either, so we can reduce some of the trade routes there. So actually, that allows us to start incorporating Honduras. Might as well do that. And Nicaragua, we could probably start incorporating that as well. So all of these will be incorporated into our nation soon enough. And then I suppose we haven't completed any of the colonizations in here yet. Arizona has come along quite nicely. And New Mexico has come along quite nicely. Looks like the total population is increasing. Although a lot of it is not... Well, I suppose there's some increase in the incorporated states already. But I don't think the incorporated population has grown all that much. Still 7.7 million. And we started with, I don't know, 7.5... Actually, I don't know how much we started with. El Salvador, no, I'm not going to do allies with you. I'm going to be annexing you. Rousing speech capitulates the public. I'm going to get another 15% chance, or no, we don't want to increase the landowner's attraction, so we'll just take the 50% chance. Now we've got 82% chance of passing this, or getting through the amendments at least. So that's fairly encouraging at least. And I think it might be time to do another war down here. So we're losing a bit of cash. We've got okay cash reserves though. And that's going to be another 5.6 infamy. That's going to still keep us below 20, at least. Although 25 is the one that you need to sort of be concerned about. Another thing that I should double check is, are all the... No, not all the barracks are mobile artillery and light infantry. It's just the new ones that we conquered that went that way, though. And I suppose we've got some ports that could be turned into cargo ports. That's going to increase the clipper price drastically. That'll be fine. We could probably increase the shipyard in here. I mean, we're probably selling some of the... Oh yeah, we're probably selling all the man of wars right now. There's the reinforced wooden ships, but I'm probably not going to go for those. Not yet, at least. So we'll get a bit of coal... Oh, they do have a coal mine in there already. That's quite nice. I mean, we've got the coal mine already just built. Let's have a look at the market. So how much is there demand for coal yet? Not really. I mean, it's probably going to be using a little bit in pop consumption. But it's mostly going to be for industry users anyway. So we do have a decent authority right now, but that if we, or when we pass the landed voting rather, that authority will drop a little bit. So I'm not going to start using any more right now. I suppose one of the things that I could do at this stage though is stop bolstering the armed forces and start bolstering the rural folk. For the time being anyway. Because that can maybe take away some of the... Because they share some of the people between landowners and the clergy. So we're going to start reducing those powers a little bit further. Now we've got a population of 9 million, so that's not too bad. Okay, we do have 7.8 million incorporated population now. Did we have any of these states incorporated yet? No, that's still pretty far away. I mean, I think we may have had something in here that we... No, I think we actually did have everything incorporated already. Unless it was this one, but no, I don't think that was the case either. So there we go, now that we're making the coffee plantation, we're getting a pretty good amount of money. The investment pool is still pretty darn high, but it's mostly just because it's the agriculture or agrarianism, so it makes it a little bit difficult to accumulate all that. And now it's guaranteed that there's not going to be anyone... Oh! New Granada is actually leading into this fight, but they can't look... Oh, there we go. Went through the amendment now, so now it's just the voting phase. Let's see, so 7 to 10 months for the Bessemer process. We still don't have our own paper production, but that paper mill is going to be the next thing that we'll build. So that will help the situation at least a little bit. We'll also get another iron mine, which if we do have a look at the iron demand, it's still pretty high. But after that, it should be a lot more reasonable, although we'll eventually start using a bit more iron in construction. So we'll probably need to increase the iron production for a while. Technically speaking, we could probably get an iron mine in our capital as well. Put one in there. How's the lead situation? I'm guessing there is extra lead around. That's good. Oh, our relations with USA is down to poor again. Oh well. And Costa Rica, or the peace deal ready. It's still going to take probably quite a while before they surrender. At least a month or two. So the literacy rate has gone up to 18.5%. Of course, we're still probably conquering a lot of nations that don't have all that high literacy rate. If you look at, for example, El Salvador, what do you have? Actually, that is 22.5%. That is higher than what we have. So that's quite an interesting turn of events. It looks like Texas is almost... Well, there's still quite a bit that is missing. But I'm sure that the colonies over here are still growing just fine. And the incorporated population growing does mean that the colonies will also grow faster. Although we've got so many colonies going on that it's... The total... Oh, there we go. The legitimacy has dropped drastically. I'm guessing the first election... There we go. Who's in which party? So Conservative Party is landowners, Catholic Church, and Armed Forces. And Free Trade Party is the industrialists. And I guess we have no one else in the party right now. That's a bit of a shame. Well, I guess the Conservative Party is probably going to be winning the election then. Oh, we actually gained more authority. Oh, suddenly the decrees don't cost quite as much. Okay, that would be part of the reason then. We could probably get some more... You know what? I'm going to put in the decree for resource production into Sonora. Because we've got the iron mines in there. Might as well boost that a little bit further. So now we'll be producing... Instead of producing 40 iron, it'll be 48. Which does lower the prices already a tiny bit. Plus our GDP is now almost 9 million. So it's slowly increasing with number 13 worldwide. Well, actually, yeah, the GDPs overall aren't all that massive. Oh, wow, we could probably get a peace deal now. There we go. So now we've got a border with Costa Rica. Oh, sorry, New Granada from Costa Rica. So yeah, the coal price is probably pretty bad right now, and we haven't gotten any more construction speed recently. We've got 2 construction sectors in there, though. Did we... Let's have a look. How is the iron situation now? Paper is still in very high demand, but that is going to start providing something soon. Ooh, and the California population has been increasing. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the sulfur mines in there at some point, so the paper production can be increased from the get-go. It looks like Conservative Party is going to be taking pretty much all the votes, which doesn't really surprise me, I'll be honest. The loyalist numbers aren't really improving right now. Luckily, the radical numbers did increase due to the conquest there, of course. But how is it now? Okay, so it's still 0.38% per day, so it hasn't really increased the colonization speed over here all that much. Oh, right, now that the paper price is so high, we're not actually getting all the innovation either. Right, well that's a bit of an issue. I think now we could maybe start reducing some of these wages again, to save a little bit on the expenditure. We could increase the taxes, but right now I think it's actually better for us just to keep the legitimacy slightly higher, and thus maybe improving the standard of living a little bit due to the reduced taxes. So we still need a lot of luxury clothing. I suppose one other thing... Oh, do we have... No, we can't have another interest yet. So I think the first interest that we put is going to be... Well, Japan can't trade, so not Japan, but maybe in like China or something, so we can start buying silk. And then once we can start buying silk, we can start producing our own luxury clothing, which is going to reduce the demand for it from other markets. And that way we'll be able to make a lot of people noticeably more happy. Right, so we unlocked the Bessemer process, so, well, we don't have steel mills yet. That's something that we should try to... Actually, if we were to get steel mills, we'd be able to produce a lot more iron. I think we might want to build at least one to get that one underway. And the relations with El Salvador are still fairly bad. I might have to... Well, they're not bad enough, let's just put it that way. So I'm going to expel the diplomats. That's going to give us a lot of infamy. But it's still going to be below 25. And now we can reform the government into... Ooh. Wait a minute, we can have both the parties in there? Sure. So that means that we could try passing the intervention. That's only 7% though. The rural folk would not love that. Can't really go away from the tenant farmers either. Oh, is this something that they've changed? No, it's still the way that the ones with the least amount of support are on the top here, which I find a little bit annoying, because that means that if you want to seek for good laws that you could pass, you need to scroll all the way down. Well, the dedicated police force would be potentially useful. That would reduce the radicalism at least and turmoil penalties. Well, of course, that would be a lot of bureaucracy needed. Well, 81 bureaucracy needed. We could probably pass this one, to at least have some laws we're trying to pass. And we can see that a decent chunk of our population is radicals, although there's quite a few loyalists as well, but not quite as many. I suppose right now what I could do, I'm going to stop bolstering the rule folk and start bolstering the industrialists. So if we can make them a little bit stronger, that means that we can maybe start passing the interventionism laws. Right, so that is now at least getting better. The loyalist numbers are dropping. The GDP is now 9 million, but we're about to get the... Oh, we just got the paper mill. Okay, good. Then we're going to get another iron mine, which is going to give us another 24-ish iron. And I'm guessing this one's going to take a while. 3 years... Oh, we're spreading the crystal class. I do want to have the atmospheric engine first, though. I suppose after that we could maybe help with the crystal class. So how much is it spreading? It's 17 to 52. So we are still going to be getting this faster than the one that is spreading sort of naturally. Looks like the literary rate is doing slightly better. So how much would it cost me to do both the wars against here? So that'd be 3.4 and 10.9. So that's about 15 infamy total. So once we get to 10 infamy, we can do the war against them. Oh, rally run roughshod. Oh, minus 10% chance. Political movement radicals from the rule folk. Or it's a gamble between minus 15 or plus 15%, and rule folk becomes more radical. Or we could try, well, we'll try for this one. Okay, that failed. I mean, it was much more likely to fail than succeed there. We'll try to pass this dedicated police force at least. But another thing, now that we've got the paper production, oh, gold discovered. Down here, okay, good. So even more gold. I do wonder actually how much of the minting is from gold. About 5,000 actually. Okay, I mean that's a pretty decent income overall. Otherwise we'd be making a massive deficit. Well, a decent deficit. I mean we're still losing a bit of cash here, but we've still got gold reserves going, so I'm not too worried about that. And as soon as we build another logging camp, that's going to be bringing us a lot of money, basically covering all the construction costs for a while. Yeah, we're getting a pretty good amount of gold produced, and that's quite nice. The Man of Wars, we're selling all of it right now, which, to be fair, does give us a bit extra money. The iron price is still pretty high, but I think we're getting to the point where we could maybe, just maybe, increase one of these into iron frame building again. Reduce the wood and fabric demand, a bit more tools, of course, which aren't actually in that bad demand right now, since we got the second level for the tooling workshop. That's actually helping quite a bit, although the iron price is pretty high. Hey, we get the 15% chance on the police force now, so we're back to the starting point, essentially. We're getting another iron mine as well, so that should reduce the demand, or the price for the iron quite just... Well, it might not be a massive amount of reduction in there, but it'll hopefully help. Another thing that I should probably do is find some of the... Okay, this could definitely support a bit more troops there. Get at least one barracks there. So slowly but surely we'll start increasing our military, because there's only 16 battalions right now, and it's spread through multiple different fronts. That does remind me though, we probably... No, actually we haven't gained any more recently. We could probably put the cargo port into use at least. Oh, Hudson Bay Company is improving relations. Well, ain't that lovely. We've got quite a bit of authority. Oh, and now we're making a lot of money, since we're getting both the logging camp and the livestock ranch at the same time. Yeah, we're getting 20,000 from the investment pool per week right now. We've got 3 million in there already, though, so we probably want to use it a bit more. I don't want to lose bureaucracy, so I guess we'll take that one. So now the dedicated police force is going to take a little bit longer to end now, but eventually we'll get that, no doubt. Ah, now it started spreading the, or building the iron mine very, very slowly, admittedly. Yeah, that does take quite a while. Oh, it's minus 60%. Oh, right, it's in Nicaragua, and it's probably got a lot of turmoil in there. Yeah, it's got quite a bit of turmoil in there. I'm guessing a lot of the pops aren't really accepted cultures. Central American. It's not discriminated, actually. Mosquito, on the other hand, I believe are discriminated. Yeah, it is. Alright then. Alright, so the investment pool is going down by about 9,500 per week. But I do realise that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.